Okay, let's see here. Let me make sure that everything's good on that front. Yeah, cool. All right, I think that's good. Let's. That's dramatic. There we go. We don't need dramatic music. And boop. I exist. Alright, so thank you for the lurk. I do see that. Although I see my bot has already acknowledged it. Let's see. What are you on about over here? Nope, that needs to go away. Okay. Let's see here. I think we are good to switch scenes. I had partially dismantled my stream setup over the holiday because I was originally planning to finish this room that I'm in, and that did not pan out. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, so we should be good here in a second. There we go. Cool. Alright. I got the fun new biological DLC with along with my increased age to I have what's called what's the name of it? Cubital tunnel syndrome. It's literally just the big brother of carpal tunnel. And it comes from like the elbow in here, the ulnar nerve. And it results, like if you keep your elbow bent too much, you get like a numb tingling in like these fingers and like this side of your hand. It's super fun. And you can get it from sleeping. Just sleeping. That's all it takes. Just be asleep. So I have that now. I woke up with that. It's part of my birthday. That's just a thing that I have now. So super big fan of that situation. What do we got going on here? That makes sense. Okay. So, it's been a hot minute since I was live. Well, not counting the Christmas party. We are about to have like the first ad break of the stream in about 5 minutes. I'm not gonna be able to do anything about that one really because we used snoozes during the Christmas party, so I gotta wait for those to rebuild. But we should be able to kind of do some stuff before then. What I had been working on off stream was trying to get we had kind of an inventory system working for the game, and I was working on trying to get it to where you could actually equip like your weapon. So right now, where we stand at it is, and a lot of the animations still play too fast, but we can pick up, it acknowledges that we pick it up. It's in the system. Some of the shaders weren't compiled, so apparently we're letting those compile. So it gets equipped, but it doesn't do anything for the player just yet. Like it's not on the player doesn't acknowledge it in any way. And one of the things I got to check, because I was kind of working towards having that available. There's some of this which shouldn't be relevant. There are some some warnings rather, but I don't believe any of those should be relevant in this case. What I think we should be dealing with, where's our character? We should know that with our animation blueprint, I've already set in some like overlays, some statuses, as it were, for having weapons equipped. They should, quote unquote, should more or less be working, at least to the extent that we are not currently seeing any errors along those lines. They should be in here. So like right now we're trying to see pistol be equipped, and it's looking for overlay state. Now, technically speaking, we change this here, we should see, yeah. So we can see that the animations are in place, like they do. I don't know that they'll all work correctly. They might. Actually, we might have to take it out of... And actually, I don't think I've set those two up, now that I think about it. Or any of these others set up from... I may not have set all these up. So like RPGs there. Yeah, so like some of these are here. Knife. And in truth, some of those will only play when you actually do like an attack, which is we're not doing. But that tells us that the overlays are in there and they are recognized, meaning they should play. We're about to have the ad in just a couple seconds, so we'll have to come back to this. So the trick right now is we need to make it where when the equip happens, it triggers that overlay state. Is the short version, and I was kind of in the process of doing that off stream. I don't 100% remember where I left off on that, so I'll have to kind of dig into my files to confirm. That's basically what's missing from this setup right now. So we should be going into an Ad break any minute now. As soon as Bezos decides to run his ads. There it goes. So we're going to be in an ad break for a little bit. About a minute left on the ad break. Just gonna save that while we're waiting. We didn't actually change anything, but just good practice. All right, we should be returning from the ad break. Is it gonna go away? There it goes. Took its sweet time. All right. So, we know that, just before the ad break, we know that the animation for the pistol, at least, because that's really the only weapon that we've dealt with, the pistol at least exists. So, we need to figure out when it's equipped, it needs to play the appropriate overlay. And it also needs to spawn the mesh. But I think, you know, if we get that far with it, then we should be pretty good. So this triggers the equip. Select item. This is our pistol. Equip or unequip item. Switch that display over. Let's see. So when we equip our item, we need to This is our pickup master. So when we pick up the weapon, let's see. Not that. Not that. Okay, I'm gonna open this. I need to check on something. I got a little side project here I'm gonna open up. I think this is what we need. Equip weapon player. That updates the info HUD, which is fine. That's sort of a part of it. Update weapon. These events handle the HUD. None of these are set up to handle spawning our mesh. So let's see. Okay, so weapon component, weapon master, viewport, event graph. Doesn't actually have any events on it, which honestly is itself a bit weird. But I guess it's because it's all done here. Nope. Oh, it does it through a weapon visuals component, which gets equipped presumably by the player. Where are you? Reference viewer. Yeah. Character template uses this guy. Weapon visuals. Initialize. ADS. Initialize inventory. Interact. Shortcut. Documents widget. Hit reaction. Item discard. HUD. Tick. Show items, I suppose. No, that's overlapping. Overlapping. Words are hard. Mapping context. Overlapping. Tab switcher. This is the visuals. So did I get that far? Did I get to setting up a visuals component? Doesn't seem like it. So we'll do something like that. That'll be fine. Blueprint. Actor component. Comp. Weapon. Actor visuals. I just say character. That sets the mesh. for this guy, let's do a few things. We can create a reference to our inventory component because that's necessary. And then we also need a reference to the weapon base. So for that, we should be looking for... I believe we're going to be looking for this guy. Although it also... I think it's this, actually. We're going to start with that. I think that's what we need. And then... I think I have a struct. Not yet. Blueprints, data, structs, weapons. I think it might just be in here. Or in here. Nope. Did I add it to... the big guy? Yeah. Item, weapon actor, socket, transform. So this is within the weapon data info struct. And we can make add an array. character reference. We can also set up a last equipped item. Which we do it like that. So maybe we call this one F weapon. You know what? This isn't even necessarily a weapon. It's gonna name it something. And then I'll just delete it.
Shining Starby has gifted 20 subs to viewers.
Thank you. I assume this is a birthday present. Going and starting a hype train. Birthday delivery. Well, thank you, Starby. How was your holidays? It says I'm about to beat my last record. What does that mean? I don't even know what the record is. Oh, level 6. Level 6 is the record. They were definitely something. How were your holidays? Oh, my holidays were alright. We did a holiday, like a Christmas party stream right before Christmas with Amber and some of their friends, and we had a golden Kappa hype train as part of that. That was random. Not exactly sure what triggered it, other than it was subs, but I'm not exactly sure. They were anonymously gifted to like all of us. So, I don't know off the top of my head where it actually started. We thought it started in mine. It was like a level 7 hype train, I think. Or we beat level 6 but didn't beat level 7. I don't remember. But it was a golden Kappa, which was pretty surprising. So I don't think currently have one to handle this, so I guess we need a struct in here. structure F, and we'll call this equipped item visuals. I'd be, all in all, doing a lot better post-birthday if I wasn't dealing with this random, I say random, but the numbness in my hand. That's fun stuff. It's sort of like a constant thing, but I think that's because by nature of my job and everything, I keep my elbow bent too much. So it's sort of just always there now, which is fun. Leading up to my birthday, I would occasionally like wake up with it, but now it's just here. I think I just have it now. It's the positives of getting older. Things you have to look forward to. Previews of coming attractions, that kind of thing. And you beat the sub goal. You actually doubled it. So I guess I gotta create a new one. And boopity boop. Alright, so in this guy we need the socket it is equipped to, which is going to be a name. And we need our mesh component, which will be whatever the static mesh is. Which I'm hesitant to do as a static mesh because then I can't animate the weapon. So I'm actually going to call it a skeletal mesh. A late savey mode. So yeah, we're actually going to make this a skeletal mesh component. Because I don't think there's a way to allow it to be either. I've kind of always wanted to do it where it was either, but I really don't think there's a way to do that. Maybe if I just do like this for now. Let's see. UE5 variable type. Is there a way? Yeah, because they are fundamentally different. Now, there wasn't a way to do it in UE4. I think we're just going to say skeleton mesh component. I think that's going to be the safest bet. And then we do equipped items. Cool. So then we can initialize our sockets, which we can do as a function. Initialize sockets. We want to do a for loop on our weapons for each loop. And we can break out of this. It's a pretty big break though, so I'm gonna hide everything but these guys. And go to equipped items, get add unique, split socket, oop. And then once it's completed that, we need to get character. Which we can actually set up as a function. We should make this pure. Get, oops. Drop this in here. Get, convert to a validated get. Return node. If it's valid, it will return it as it is. If it is not valid, then we're going to have to do a get owner. Cast to character. Return. If we fail to cast, we'll go ahead and return. Otherwise, we will set our character reference and then return. Cool. Okay, so that gets that. And then, so then over on here, we can do get character. And do what is valid, which theoretically, it, you know, if it returned, we can probably assume it's valid. But we do have the ability to return it empty, so we can't actually assume. Because, like, this is a component, it's supposed to be parented to something. In theory, I would never parent it to anything that isn't a character, but in a hypothetical world, it could accidentally end up paired, or someone else worked on this, or you were dealing with a modder or something. It could be placed on there, and then you'd end up with issues. So we want to account for that. Equipped items. We're going to do a for each loop through all our equipped items, as long as that's valid. We got another ad break here in like 15 seconds. So all right, we are in an ad break. All right, we got about a minute left on the ad break. So we're just gonna wait on that. About 10 seconds left on the ad break. we are back from the ad break. Alright, so we're gonna take our character. Get. I'm gonna do a validated get. It should be valid. But we want to make sure we don't perform this on something that isn't. So we should be able to add component. Add component by class. We want it to be a skeletal mesh component. We're then going to promote this to a local variable. So this is going to be a local that just makes it easier for us to reference. It also means that we're not overwriting, because theoretically there could be a scenario where we have multiple things equipped as skeletal meshes and we don't want to be overwriting the wrong thing. So we're going to store this here. We're going to make sure it is valid before we do anything with it. Failing to do so is a good way to have errors. We're not really worried about replication or anything, but if you were doing something server-side, you would probably want to, like if you were doing multiplayer, you'd probably want to do like a replication set. I can put this here where we're doing a single-player game. It's not necessary, but it also isn't gonna like hurt anything in this case. So we'll go ahead and have that here. And then we're going to attach component to component. So we want to attach our component. It's going to be get mesh. It's going to be this guy. I'm going to attach that as its parent. I'm going to snap to target. Snap to target for rotation. Keep relative. Keep relative. But kit and talk. We also want to do a break on this because we need access to its information. We're going to attach it specifically to a specified socket. We don't need these other pins, so we can hide them, just for visibility's sake. And then we also want to make sure that we acknowledge what is equipped, and we store it for reference. We'll take this, take our equipped items, set array element, oh, I typed seat, set array element. I was very confused. We also want to do this by index. This also keeps us from accidentally equipping two weapons to the same slot, like a physical slot on the character. We can again split the struct, bring our socket over here, bring our local component over here, item here isn't set. That's fine because we can. Do. Oop. Oop. Make sure that they're associated. And then we can make sure that it has collision. We don't necessarily want to do physics collision because we don't want it colliding into the character body. But I kind of feel like doing query information is good for this because we may want to know. It also might be better to do it as a query and probe. But I think we're gonna be all right just with query because we don't need the data of it colliding with the player, which is really probably the only place that it's gonna do that. I'm actually going to do query and probe because it could be relevant to melee weapons. So we're going to do it like that. And then gotta wait for it to save. Get weapon base component. It's gonna be another pure. Do we get character? Get component by class. Weapon base. Set. That's true. We'll set that here. Okay. So off of our begin play, we can initialize sockets. We can then get our base component. Check if it's valid. If it's not valid, we can do a delay. Delay. Probably just want a standard delay. For just 0.2 seconds. At which point we retrigger, check again. Because we only want to proceed from here if it is valid. Because the next thing we're going to do is bind events to on equip. Bind event to on equip. That's what I wanted. Oop. We want to add an event on equip event. We can delay till next tick. Select shortcuts. Because we need to make sure that we're like highlighting the appropriate quick select, quick equip button. Okay, so we can boop, boop, ba-doop. Select shortcut. Boop, boop. And in our shortcut, we're going to probably need to go ahead and set up our get inventory component. Set this up as a pure. Get validated get. can get component by class. Inventory component. Alright, so we set our inventory component. We do want to check if it is valid. If it is valid, then we can return. And if not, then we gotta pull some more shenanigans to try to find it. Get controller. So if that's valid, we set the component reference. If not, we do a return of. Let's see. Why is my phone going absolutely nuts? What's happening? Oh, it's because like a million people went live at one time. Okay, let's see. We need to make sure that anytime we equip an item, we are also unequipping theoretically, we want to only unequip weapons or things for the same slot specifically. And I can always come back here and change that because I could be using equipable items as, like, say, bag upgrades or something where you have to keep them equipped. But for now, we're just gonna keep it as is. Hello, Amber. How are you? Thank you for the happy birthday. You missed Starby coming in here and soloing a level 5 hype train. I'm doing well, you know, other than the weird numbness in my hand, the fingers, other than my cubital tunnel situation, which isn't really like, it's annoying more than anything else. It's like, Gina, just uncomfortable to have like a slight numbness. I need to get a brace for my arm. I haven't had time to do that yet. Because stuff was closed. And then with New Year's, more things are still closed. So. Okay, so that'll unequip everything, which is sufficient for now. So then we come into our select shortcut. Select shortcut system here is valid. Unequip all items. And then we do our last equipped item, get as a validated get. Inventory component. Hello, Ignis. All I looked over and saw was all caps. Very excited, apparently. Get inventory component. Boop. Find item in. I was just telling Amber that she missed Starby coming in here and soloing a level 5 hype train. Just popped out of nowhere and dropped 20 subs and said happy birthday and then disappeared into the night because I think she has her own stream right now. that's a check for not equals to the -1 slot, because that just means it's not found. Anytime you do that, that comes up as -1 if it's not found. Get selected shortcut data. Break shortcut. Check that it's not empty. And check that this item and this item do not match. So then we can run a AND Boolean on both of those. We want them to be simultaneous checks. Branch. If it's valid, we move on to this guy. If that's valid, we move on to this guy. Let's see. Bring this down here. Route node. Bring this here. And bring that here. We need save that. Because we need to get the item to equip if we're going to do equipping. So we need a new function, item to equip. For this inventory item object, that's good. And we will be returning a Boolean as well as structure of item data. The weapon data info struct. That's what we want there. Get class is a valid class. Branch. And then we check the weapons array for each loop. Now, the big thing I think, is going to be that I will need to still have, because like I don't have any of these items in this struct, and I don't want to maintain the weapons in multiple places, so I am going to have to load them into this array when things load up. So I'm hoping that won't be too crazy. We're not going to have a ton of them, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Do a break on this guy. We are specifically comparing the item check. Equal. And do a branch. If so, return, not return metadata, return, I need a return node. There we go. Return true with the rest of the item data. So what that means is as long as we have weapons in the weapon array, then we're good. But what we have to do is load that weapon array, and that weapon array we actually should be able to do with event pre we could actually do it here. Get a data table as array struct. This should be weapons table. Which creates an array of weapon data info struct, which is what this guy is. We can set the weapons array here before we initialize our sockets. So that'll make sure that the weapons are in the system. And then, so then our select shortcut happens. Boop, boop. We come here. Get item to equip. From here, we are able to pull our information. True. Get item to equip. And by last equipped item, it's like the last one you selected equip on, basically. So if you equip something, but then decide, oh no, I want to equip something else, then it should always be replacing that item. We want the information from here. good. And then we do a branch. That's not how you spell branch. And then we need to set our equipped item. Okay. So big stretch. Okay. We want the easiest way for me to do this is probably going to be get this. Oh, wait. Promise there's a method to the madness. I don't want to have to go through and select each of the class types. So by doing this, I can just kind of real quickly add these on here, because those are all things that I need. Just like that. Oh, we have an ad break. That was my mistake. All right, we are back from the ad break. I kind of missed that we went into that ad break, but it happens sometimes. Okay, so we have this information, which is good. We're going to do a loop through our equipped items whenever we call this function. Do a for each loop, and a loop, and a boop. We're going to do promote to local variable, which will be, we'll just call that local slot, basically, because we're checking the specific inventory slot that we're dealing with at the time. Same with this, we're going to do local index. This helps us not overwrite things that shouldn't be overwritten. Also, anytime we complete, we want a return node. And then reach. So what we are checking for is that the slot socket matches the socket provided to the function. Right, so once that's matched, then we check that the slot mesh component is valid. And if so, we're going to set members for item it's a class reference, but that should hang on. I may. May have to make some adjustments to my struct. I think I thought I was being clever. And I think I might have made things overly complicated. Well, that still seems to pull an actual item of that class type. So, in truth, that actually should work. No. Yeah, those needed to be soft records, I think, is what I was probably trying to do. So I oopsied that. Okay, I meant to fix that. And that, I'm not sure, that might entail some larger issues. So, because weapons table. So like we set this, which is a class that's a yeah. no, here that's a class as well. Okay. I'm trying to kind of shortcut things and I may not be able to. It's basically, I think, what it's going to come down to. I think that'll work. And because the actor is what's storing the mesh. So then get that. Items. Set array element by the full index. Slot break set skeletal mesh exit. As well as set relative transform. So shit. It's static. Data table. An actor isn't storing that for me. I thought I had it set up with an actor to store that. It's probably in here though. Weapon mesh from base info. Yeah, so instead of doing this, we should pull. No. Get data table. Actually, theoretically, no. Get data table row weapons table. This should be correct because, or maybe I'll just call it weapon ID because that should be what I use it based off of. Weapon ID. Because then we can, hey Zoomers, break weapon data info struct. It should be under, yeah, the base info weapon mesh should be what I'm looking for. So if that all matches, then it should do. How are you, Zoomers? Test the relative transform. Return node. I assume that'll work. Okay, and then we need to refresh. Let's see. We'll do items to ignore. Socket to ignore. Boop, boop, Okay. So then we can get an inventory component. Check if it's valid. Shortcuts. Do a for each loop on the break. Complete. Turn node. Find. Actually, I need to find on these. Find item. Break. Oh, no, sorry, branch. That's what I was looking for. Check that this guy, if it's equal to -1, then nothing was found. Get item to equip. Branch off of that guy and break these. Socket transform item. And we'll do set equipped item. Check the socket is not equal to the socket we want to ignore. Okay. So then go to shortcut. Refresh. Get set from here. As well as from here. Item. Make array. Last equipped item set. And then refresh. Bring this into here. Okay. I think that sets part of what we need. But really only in our like begin play. We still have some other logic we'll probably have to deal with. Let's see what we get at the moment. We'll probably, I think we're gonna get nothing at all, which is functionally fine at this stage. But an error would be nice as well. So let's close that. Okay. We do have what's probably an error. I see some red in our log. What am I making? I am working on a survival horror game akin to like Resident Evil 4. There is, assuming that the bot is working, there is a command for one man's poison. Nope, it's not working. Hang on a second. Bot's broken. Why are we broken? What's broken? Not that. Back to dashboard. Alright. Now we're gonna toggle you off and then on again. Alright, let's try this again. One man's poison. Okay, maybe it doesn't work as a reply. There it goes. I guess it doesn't work as a reply. So it's a sort of like an RE4 style game. Been working on it for a hot minute. Alright, it is mad about something. Pose is numb, desired alpha is numb. I don't actually know at a glance. update any thread, linked anim graph. Yeah. But like, we have an ad break. Almost sounds like Heavy Rain. I've never played Heavy Rain, although I am familiar with it. What is it mad about? I mean, I see what it's mad about, but I don't understand where. Okay, I don't explicitly see... Animation instance not shot. So we could at least have been partway there. And it's maybe mad about something with the... there's a bunch of other stuff in here that's unrelated. Oh, I saw something about weapon. Weapon component. Warning. Components for characters. Just unable to hash file. Alright, well that's probably unrelated. Okay, we should be back from ads. So, Serial, in case you did not hear me, because we were on an ad break, I was saying I am not, like, I'm familiar with Heavy Rain, but I had never played it. Okay, so... it's mad about a bunch of unrelated things. But... ooh, what was that? I saw red. That's a plugin related thing. Yeah. It's mad about other entirely unrelated things. So, but also it occurred to me just now that I didn't actually add the component for weapon visuals. So need to add this and see if that makes a difference. How long have I been at it? In terms of full-on development, probably a little under a year, I would say, at this point. But I have been planning this for longer, and I also did some sort of like tests a few years back. So I have a associate's degree in simulation and game design, And I have a bachelor's in sort of generic software development, focused on like web development. And when I was getting my bachelor's degree, I wanted to work on this, but kind of didn't have time. And so when I finally finished with that, and I had locked down a decent job, I decided to sit down and actually start working on this in my spare time. And then decided if I was going to be doing it, I may as well be streaming it. So in earnest, probably only maybe close to a year. And a big portion of that has been like basic tools and animation systems to try to make the full-on development easier. Okay, let's see if this works, and then hopefully it at least throws us some significant error messages. Equip. Okay, it is not equipped to the character, which I didn't really expect it to be, because we haven't finished everything there. But did we get any acknowledgement in the logs that we even tried to equip anything? Let's see. What is this? Cannot find root physics body. Maybe. That looks like that's when the mesh was, when everything, or not mesh, when the level was loaded. These are probably related to materials, actually. Crosshair timers, yeah, I know what that is. That's should be unrelated. I know what that is. That should be unrelated. Glyph. This has to do with fonts, but I don't know what it's mad about. Droid sans fallback. Interesting. I don't know what font it's looking for. Okay, but no, so we didn't really see any events fire off from any of that. So that's... I would probably need to track and see that this is actually firing. Because I suspect bind event to on equip from weapon base component, which is base type, which is what this is based off of. On equip. this should be... I wonder if this is a... case where this is not getting called. I'm pretty sure that was a C++ function. Event dispatchers. On character. On equip. Find references. Yeah, we were not firing it from anywhere, I suspect, is the problem. Let's just see. We'll just see if that does anything now. I think I'm gonna have to. I think I missed something somewhere because we took a big break. And unlike previously when I was working on this, I took a. Never mind. No, that's fine. My brain was like reading that wrong. Okay, so there was no obvious sign that that anything changed. It's that function or that font stuff. Capture scene, that stuff's fine. Crosshair stuff, that stuff's fine. That stuff's fine. What are you mad about? Oh, crowd control, that's fine. We're not even doing that one, that's fine. So, yeah, so I may have to do a couple things. One of which is probably going to be look to see if that's even firing, but also probably set up some logs so that it outputs some more verbose messages, especially with all this other crap in here. Because I'd fix this to get rid of it, but I'm not sure what the hell it is. Like, it's mad about a font, but I'm not sure from where or why. So that itself is problematic, but it's getting a little late, so I think we're gonna have to call it. Let's see. Thanks for coming by, Amber. And Starby, if you're still there, thank you for all those gifted subs. That was crazy. We are going to visit fellow developer. We're going to raid into Fruitsy. Fruitsy does an interactive stream if you've never been to a Fruitsy stream. They've got, you get like interactive little slimes and you can play mini games. So we're going to give them a raid. Everybody have a good night, and I will be back on Thursday. I'm going to say Thursday, but Thursday is also New Year's Day, so we will see. If nothing else, I should be back on Friday. So there'll be announcements in the Discord and on social media. Good night, everybody.